Did you ever stop to wonder if it was possible or feasible to connect to spirits or souls that lived a long time ago? I'm not talking about like mediumship standing on a stage or going into graveyards and connecting to the souls that they departed, like parents and friends, relatives who were lost about 20, 30 years ago, grandmas, granddads, aunties, uncles, or those that were lost during the last World War or even beyond to the First World War. What sprung to my mind is that there could be a possibility that it is possible to connect to souls that departed us a long time ago. I'm talking hundreds of years, like back in our civil wars or even beyond that. It has been possible to connect to souls that were lost that have long gone now. I'm talking hundreds of years. What sprung to my mind is that I wondered if it was feasible to go back further than that. I'm talking back hundreds to the thousands, like in the site where I am now, which is a stone circle in Keswick. That was thousands of years ago, and it came to my mind that I wonder if it's possible to connect to places like this, to those that were in that period in time, like the pyramid builders or Stonehenge, or any particular point in time that had individuals who were the builders or the livers of that time that died in that particular area. This has come from my last video where I was wondering, through pure curiosity, around Neolithic sites in a place called Grassington, to which there are many. There are many sites around that area. I did connect to two individuals, two souls, one of whom had red hair, and I got a little bit of information as to how to actually interact, or the possibility of interacting with souls that lived in that particular point in time. Now, I started to take it a little bit further when I got home and wondering just how far you can communicate with souls. What is the limit of spiritual interaction? What is the cut-off point? How far back can you go? Because it is known, not just by myself, that there are different periods in time, past, present and future, and all other aspects of time that are all woven like strands in a cloth. They're all connected, and we can communicate with spirits who are from our past. People, including myself, have learned that you can see into the future. So, if you can see into the future and you can connect to the past, what about the interaction with different variations or different points in time, or time travelers? And there are those who reckon they can go back in time. They're trying to prove it by showing photographic evidence that's come up of people who are not from that particular point in time, yet they're dressed in attire or clothes of this point in time. And so they start talking about them being time travelers and going back into the past and visiting particular points in time. That got me wondering whether it is possible to be able to literally turn it on like a switch and go to a site like this and interact with souls of that particular period. So let's try, shall we? Try reaching back in time, see what we can pick up. You never know your luck. once in my life I have arrived at this place and it is not raining at last. It's nice to have some dry weather for a change. Now then, last time I was here I decided I want to try to connect to Spirit and get them to tell me the history of this place. But as I stood in the centre and started my focusing, a lovely young lady, calling her young, was a volunteer who worked for the tourist industry or the tourist authorities, and she came up to me and started telling me all about the history of this particular place and this area as is known by archaeologists and historians, and bringing me up to date for the last 5,000 years. Now that was really kind, but I really wanted to hear it from the horse's mouth, from Spirit. But I got my information, bless her. She did her job and I'm thankful for that. So off she went to speak with somebody else, and I stood there thinking, well, I've got the information, and I wasn't quite concerned about anything else other than trying to get a little bit extra information called an adage to see if anything transpires. I have just arrived again at this place and hoping to use my Spirit app and get some information through my own skills. One of the things I picked up on the way around this area was the word that kept repeating itself was incantations. And I've just noticed that a gentleman has arrived in a kind of authoritative uniform, so I'm wondering whether we're only allowed to stay beyond or up to a certain time. I don't know. Tourists are still flocking to this area, so I will see whether we have to leave. I've got a Spirit app on the go to see if I get anything, but I've left my speaker in the car, so I've got to go back. But are they going to close the place down? Who knows? I'll check. What my speaker's just brought up is embrace the energy. That was one. Now I've got to wait for the next one. Just see what transpires once I get into the circle. Now some of these responses that are coming through the speaker are reduced in the editing process by up to 70% in order to try to get better clarity and understand what is actually coming through. Well, okay, Spirit app. I'm alone in the circle for a few moments. If Spirit wants to speak through me, come through this machine, through this voice box, and bring what information you can to me. I come in love and light on behalf of all that is and all that ever will be. Let's start with your name, shall we? That will be polite.
Times it. We are.
Well, this don't help. Well, come on, Spirit out. Let's see what you can do. Ah. Oh. This is one of 4 spirit apps. Or the first of 4 spirit apps. Come, come. I'm waiting. So what is there to know from your point of view?
Freak. It's for the barnyard. Yeah. For the barn.
What are you talking about? Come on.
Thank you. So much. Thank you.
Open up your hearts. You know what I'm seeing in my mind's eye are horses. That means nothing to me. Well, it means a little something, but nothing substantial. Were horses part of this stone circle when it was created? Yes or no? To say it again. Were horses part of the creation of this stone circle?
Salty.
We just had visual and scroll. Visual, yes. Here come the jets. Two of them. Meat. Won't get very much listening done with that noise. Memories here. Well, that's 1. 2 out of 6. It's not doing too good today.
L. And then choose.
I'm just wondering if there was another structure beyond the circle behind me, because as I'm walking around I'm seeing raised mounds of equal distance. Here's one, there's two, beyond that two more. Turn around, they also go in the opposite way. There's this one, there's another marking here, and another just here, and yet another. I don't know, pure speculation. Because nature can do that, can create raised mounds. The grass can do whatever it wants, but it's their equidistant. Yeah, I've just learned all around here they used to plough the fields. That's why I've probably been seeing these raised mounds. I can see the ploughed runs. Apparently there's a description down at the gate which shows that all these fields were ploughed up. Oh England, my treasured isle, pouring with rain. Ish.
Crack record.
Will you stop saying that? This spirit app keeps saying the same words over and over again. Thought I'd try a new spirit app this morning, or this afternoon, depending on what time it is. I have got a theory. A human being or an animal or any form of life on this earth dies, crosses over and goes to their place of being in the heavenly realm or wherever they are destined to go due to their behaviour whilst on earth, good or bad. They will then, or can then, spend an X amount of time within this place of being and set up a training program in order to work out for their future life, for being reborn on earth. That said, as to how long in earthly terms would it be for an individual to return to earth? Now, when you consider things like old souls who were born thousands of years ago, trying to communicate with someone who is in spirit that is no longer in the heavenly realm because they have been reborn. Therefore, you wouldn't be able to contact them. You're contacting a living being. So my theory is that trying to connect to someone who lived a very long time ago, who is no longer in the spirit realm, but is now living again as a human being, would make it seemingly impossible to connect to that soul. But I have proven that there are individuals who do not come back for whatever reason holds them in the heavenly realm. I have contacted certain individuals and had proof that over earthly terms, earthly lifespan, they have been in the spirit realm for quite a long time. And we are talking 100, 200 years, whatever. And they have had the ability to be communicated to. Now, once, as I said, that they have decided to be reborn and hopefully gain a further advancement in their spiritual development, you wouldn't be able to communicate with them. Think about it. Yes, you can communicate with them whilst they're in spiritual form. Proven that several times, 6, 7, 8, 9, I can't remember. And I can go back to these individuals in earthly term hundreds of years. But my theory for places like this and Stonehenge and other places that were in the Stone Ages, Neolithic sites, I've got an understanding that yes, time does carry on in their time, but what happens to the souls that lived in that period? How can life continue in their time if they are no longer there in spirit? It's like having an army or a bunch of people that are living and working as they did in their time, being in a time frame, and we try to link with that time frame, which you can do, with individuals that are there. But if they're not, because they've gone back to the spirit realm and moved on to be reborn, they wouldn't be there. Think about it. What is not there cannot be communicated with. Or is this something else that I'm missing? Message over.